There is one profession you all have left out of the OPA, the professional politician. And I don't think you're anxious to have us either, which is quite understandable. Your organization, the OPA, I've known for long. We've agreed on some issues. We've disagreed on many others. But you all are people who have made a lasting contribution to the economy and society. Today, you are meeting here not merely to witness the third Apex National Awards, but at a time when our country is facing a crisis unprecedented in our modern history. An economic crisis that started when our fragile economy was able to recover by 2017 to have a surplus in the primary budget. And then they were hit with a number of other events. The 52-day gap when the government was thrown out, followed by a security issue, that of Easter bombing, followed by a political economic issue of reducing taxes, followed by, by 2019, by 2020 we were hit by COVID, and as we went along, wrong decisions not to bring in fertilizer, and a decision to maintain an artificial rate of exchange. All this brought about the crisis which we faced in January and February this month. This crisis, economic crisis, in turn led to political protests, first led by youth and the middle class, and subsequently taken over by more violent extremists, which pushed the young idealists out. We witnessed two outbursts of violence. The second one aimed at actually bringing the government machinery to a halt by taking over all the establishments necessary for that fact. Fortunately, as the Honorable Speaker knows, the Parliament was saved. And now we've gone through a period of establishing law and order, because the instability of the economy on one hand, severe instability of the economy, with the other hand, the severe political instability, the loss that Sri Lanka has suffered on that cannot be counted. But now we're back again. And how do we face the future? The situation here is normal, and I will not be extending the emergency, and I think it will lapse by end of the week. It shows that stability has returned. But that is not enough. How do we handle the problems that we have? How do we go forward? I'd like to tell all of you, there is no looking back. There is no going to what it was in 2019 or 2020. We have to think. We have to have attitudinal change, as the Honorable Speaker mentioned. If we do that, then this country will have a future. Otherwise, we will become another Lebanon. This is the stark choice before you. Whether we like it or not, we have no choices in the solutions. The way we have gone has left us only one path to go. I need not tell you, I think Mr. Vikramaratne would have done, how bad the economy is. At one time, just after I became Minister of Finance, I found that I was richer than the Republic of Sri Lanka as far as foreign exchange was concerned. Most of you were. Because that day we had nothing. And I had $1,000 at home which I had saved from a trip. So I was more than 1,000 times richer than the Republic. But if you take a person like Mr. Sanjeev Gardner, he would have been about 1 million times richer than the Republic. So nevertheless, that was what we were. There were times when we were looking at getting $2-3 million just to pay off a bill. We are out of that stage now, fortunately. But we are not out of the woods. We cannot go on as an import-dependent economy with the balance of trade not in our favor. What are we going to do now? There is the short term, what you call stabilization. Well, we are now discussing with the IMF to finalize a staff level agreement. And we are at the nitty-gritty. Now, when you set the criteria and targets, 0.25% can make a difference between prosperity and disaster. When that is over, the staff level agreement will come in, and that will give us confidence. Money will come in from some of the donors, from some of the multilateral organizations, some investors would mind taking the risk. But we still have then, Lazards are preparing our debt sustainability plan. We've got to discuss firstly with our official creditors. Now there are two groups. The West which thinks of a haircut, and the Chinese would like to give additional loans to pay off these loans. So there has to be one approach. And we are talking with Japan how this could be achieved. And we'll talk with China, or start the talks with India. Others will follow. And the more difficult issue of how do you deal with the private creditors. The monies that are invested there are not all by multi-billionaires, remember. A lot of the money are from pension funds, from other earnings, from banks. And a haircut means those pensioners have to take a lock. We know the situation where we are in, where the EPF is today worth half it was 3 years ago.